Recording in progress.
Good morning, everybody. We're starting right away. I'm sorry for the inconveniences. I'm having trouble with my computer and it's so slow today, and I don't understand why. So please turn on your cameras and be ready for the attendance. Iván Almeida.
Present, teacher.
Thank you. Luis Andrade. Absent. Wilson Arriaga. Absent. Jorge Arroyo.
Present.
Thank you. Cristina Carrasco.
Present.
Thank you. Daniel Delgado. Absent. Nicole de los Ríos.
Present.
Thank you. Cecilia Gaibor.
Present, teacher.
Thank you. María Eugenia Jaya.
Present.
Thank you. Valeria Larrea.
Present.
Thank you. María de los Ángeles.
Present.
Thank you. Marcos Merchan.
Present.
Thank you. Michelle Olaya.
Present.
Thank you. Andrea Sánchez.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning. Thank you. Julisa Silva.
Present.
Thank you. Jordan Suárez.
Present.
Thank you. Johnny Tomala. Johnny, absent. Ronnie Tutiben. Absent. Adrián Villamar.
Present.
Thank you. María Mercedes Villón. Absent. All right. Let me fix this. Today is January 14. Okay, so we're getting started with the next unit. All right, this unit is already finished, but just let me check for a moment. Okay, so we finished all of this. We did the reading about the Dragon's Den, and we also did the listening about the same topic. At the end, I asked you to work on the speaking assignment where you had to sell the product, and we did that in Alticia. That's the end of this unit. All right. So now we can go after unit 9A. Unit 9A talks about lucky encounters. I have no clue of what the vocabulary it could be about. So we are going to start this topic with the reading and speaking assignment. Let me set this up so that everybody can access the unit? So this is what I'm talking about. Everything is so slow today. There. All right, so Unit 9A, lucky encounters. First of all, we are going to answer some questions, all right? Not with the partner, but with the teacher. Say what you would do and why. What would you do if, all right? If you remember, this is a similar form to the second condition that we already learned in the previous class. So the first question is, what would you do if somebody in the street asked you for money on your way home tonight? All right, we're gonna ask these questions, several questions, to some of you. The first one to answer this question will be Valeria Larrea.
Well, I went wrong. I don't know.
Why would you run? The person is just asking you for money
But in the night.
at night.
Uh-huh.
So
So I would think that he's gonna rob me.
he's gonna
I don't
rob
know.
you.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, in our context, that's the
Mm-hmm.
that's the situation that we would expect, right? And
Yes.
you would run. Where would you run?
I don't know. I don't know.
There's
Like,
nowhere to run. Nobody can save you.
mhm, but I don't know, something open, like a shop.
Oh, an open place.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Valeria, thank you very much. The same
Okay.
question for Adrian. Adrian, if
Present,
somebody asks
mister.
you, yes, Daniel, thank you. Adrian, what would you do if somebody asks you for money in the street?
That's a good question. Um, Nowadays probably I would, would mm, I would to ignore the person. Just um I just continue my way.
You continue your way. So you would ignore. Remember,
Yes,
would
that
goes
would.
together with an action and no to. So I would
Okay,
ignore.
okay, would not.
All right, Adrian, thank you very much. One more person. I would like to hear a comment from Marcos Merchan.
Yes.
Same question.
Uh, well, if I were in that situation, I couldn't stop as well. Uh, Nowadays, it's very dangerous.
It is true. Nowadays, it's very dangerous. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Marcos. We're going after question 2. What would you do if you were driving home at night and you saw somebody who had run out of petrol? Petrol is the British way of saying gasoline, or in the informal American English, gas. Somebody who run out of gas. What would you do in this situation? Jordan Suarez.
Teacher, repeat the question.
The question is number 2 on the screen.
Uh, uh, I asked, uh, I asked him if he wants help getting to the uh, nearest cercana.
To the nearest.
nearest gas station.
All right, that's a good thing. But first of all, I mean, you offer help, but you ask the person if the person wants help, right? And when it says somebody, you don't know. You don't know who this somebody is. Somebody suspicious, or it's just a young person, or an old lady, maybe. So, what will make you feel more comfortable with offering help?
Uh,
Remember, this is happening at night.
Depending is if it looks suspicious.
Uh-huh. And if the place looks safe, I bet.
Yes.
Okay, okay, that's interesting. Thank you very much, Jordan. Now I would like to ask the same question to a lady. Um, let me see. Cecilia, what would you do in this situation?
Okay. If it happened to me, I don't think I can help science, because not uh, not no confiar
You
en
can't
la gente.
trust. Say it. I can't trust.
I can't trust.
Okay. You can't trust who? You don't know the person.
Um, the you were like how and then the person is not have a petrol or
Uh-huh.
staying.
The
I
person
don't.
has no gasoline in the car.
I don't have.
You don't have a
I
car. All
no.
right, so maybe it's not a good question for you. But if you were driving together with, I don't know, an uncle or maybe your dad or your grandpa, somebody who drives with you, would you ask the driver to stop so you can help?
Yes, I can help these people
All right,
in
Cecilia,
company.
thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for being honest with your answer. All right, so finally we have the same question for Jorge Arroyo. Jorge, what would
Jorge,
you do
what
in
would
this
you do in
situation?
this situation? Okay, maybe I would possibly accelerate the car to
Oh,
lose that
drive
person,
faster.
yes.
Why?
Because I don't know if that guy is a robber or he, I don't know. In that moment, it depends on the moment.
Mhm.
If I see that it's an old man, I could help. But if he's a teenager, like, I don't know. I
I understand what you mean, but I feel that you're so nice, too nice to say what we all think, right? So
Mhm,
nowadays, things are so bad that
mhm.
we would simply defend ourselves by trying to work the stereotypes on our favor. So if
Yeah,
the person looks like he's a dangerous man, I wouldn't help.
yeah,
I feel that's what you were trying to say, but in a nice way. Yes, thank you, Mr. Jorge. We all agree, right? I mean, nowadays, considering the situation, many people would limit the help that they can offer. And that is sad because in a perfect society, everybody should try to help everyone else. But that's not the truth in our city, especially. I feel that if you were in a different city, then maybe people will help more to other people, especially if we're talking about small towns. everybody knows everyone. So you wouldn't even doubt about helping somebody. All right. So that's pretty much the idea. And let's continue with the next question. What would you do if you saw an old man being attacked in the street by a couple of teenagers? Ooh, all right, so violence now. Nicole, what would you do in that situation?
Repeat the question.
The question is number 3.
You say an old man.
Yes, an old man is being attacked by teenagers in the street. What would you do?
I decide protect the old man and put in your uh, put in security and in the old man.
Put in security on the old man. Then what security are you talking about? I mean,
Uh,
this is already
call the
happening.
police. Call the police.
Oh, you will call the police.
Uh-huh.
All right, that makes sense. But until the police comes to help, the teenagers have already beat up the men. So what can you do immediately after calling the police?
Mm. Maybe I report the police and that the maybe eh, que estén, o sea, that we, no, que estén pendientes.
Uh-huh. They have to
Okay.
be careful.
Uh-huh. That they careful by the situation.
Okay. Okay, Nicole, thank you very much. So, in anyway, you would always look for somebody to help you. You wouldn't confront the teenagers, would you?
Yes.
Oh, yes. You would face them. Hey, stop
No,
beating the man.
but call the police and report the situation, yes.
Okay, okay,
But
thank
not
you.
confront.
Not confront them. All right, Nicole, thank you very much. Same question for Daniel Delgado. What would you do in that situation?
Yes. Um, mm, mm, I try to um, how do you say llevar?
That depends on the context.
O sea, I want to say llevar, o sea, o sea, llevar conmigo al anciano, o sea, lejos de donde lo están atacando.
Okay, entonces usted no lo lleva, usted lo trae in English. I would
Ah,
bring the old man with me to,
I what?
I would bring
I will bring the old man with me to to leave the situation.
to leave the place and the situation.
Yes.
All right. All right, Daniel. Yes, that is a good idea. But what if the teenagers are very violent and they try to hit you as well?
Mm, if I have a car, I say the I say to the old man to get in the car,
Jump into car. Uh-huh.
jumping jump into car and uh, move to a other side.
Move to a different place.
Yes, different place.
All right. All right. Thank you, Daniel. Very
Yes,
good
mister.
response. Let's continue. Now, the last question is, what would you do if you were in a queue in a station or airport and somebody asked to go in front of you because he or she was in a hurry? Now, a queue is a line. So you're making the line. Está haciendo una fila. Okay? O cola, however you want to call it. You were in a queue at a station or airport, and somebody's asking you to cut in the line. What would you do? This question is for Michelle. Michelle, are you here? Michelle? So Michelle wasn't here. Olaya. Sí, se fue. Ok. Se fue su asistencia también. All right. Another person. Let me see. Andrea, what would you
Yes.
do if somebody's asking you to cut into the line?
Uh, if I could, he in my place because I know the situation. He could be being as happy to all us use as some point.
All right, Andrea. But what if you are in a hurry too? And this is like the last bus or the last Metrovia. Would you let the person cut in the line?
No,
Why not?
uh, why not?
Eso es del tío. Dale una.
Yes, Andrea, I'm still waiting for your answer. Why not? ¿Por qué no? Why not?
Os pressure.
What?
The person of pressure.
The person is on a hurry.
Yes.
What are you trying to say? I don't understand the last part. The person, what?
Repeat.
Yes, what are you trying to say? I don't understand the second part. The person, what? The person is
Cualquiera.
cualquiera que. I don't understand the action. I don't understand your reason. I'm asking you why, por qué. And you have to give me a reason, but I don't understand the reason.
Why the person is pressuring.
Eso, pressuring, ¿qué es eso?
Deprisa.
Ah, está apurado.
Yes.
So that's the expression we have here. The person is in a hurry. In a hurry means está como con prisa.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Andrea, thank you very much. I can see that we have another person in the session, Maria Mercedes. Are you ready to participate?
Yes.
Yes, all right. I'm asking you because I don't see you. Okay, so we have been checking some of the situations, imaginary situations, to see what you would do in certain events, all right, random events. Maybe that's what the title of this unit is about, lucky encounters. So encounter means encuentro. So you're getting in the same place with another person in a particular situation, and you're expected to do something. And lucky means afortunado. So a lucky encounter means that it's a good thing that it happened. But we are going to check how these things can be good. Maybe they are good in a different context, but for now, for us in Ecuador, in our real context, it's difficult to talk to strangers. But maybe in other places in the world, it's something very common. All right, so now we're going to read the story, a true story, by the writer Bernard Hare about something that happened to him when he was a student. Then in pairs, not in pairs, you're going to do this together with me. Decide what you think happened next. All right, so we have a whole reading assignment here I would like to share with you. All right. I understand, Maria. Thank you very much for letting me know. Okay, so let's begin. I would like to hear first from Maria Eugenia.
I was living in a student flat in North London when the police knocked.
The police
knocked on my door.
knocked.
Knock on my door.
No, knocked.
Knocked.
Falta el golpe final de la D. Knocked.
Not.
Not. Falta la K ahora. Knocked.
Knocked.
Eso, very good. Knocked.
On my door one night. One night. Pero no vi bien.
Don't
One
worry.
night.
Listen more.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I thought
it
was
thought,
because I don't.
not dot, thought. Thought. Uh-huh. I thought.
It was because I hadn't paid the rent for a few months.
Okay,
So,
I'm going to stop you there, Maria Eugenia. I want you to read it again. Listen to me and then you repeat.
okay.
I'm going to read everything. I was living in a student flat in North London when the police, not police, the police knocked on my door one night. I thought it was because I hadn't paid the rent for a few months, so I didn't open the door. Repeat, Maria Eugenia.
Okay, I was living in a student flat in North London when the police knocked.
Police.
Knocked on my door one night.
No, knocked.
Knocked.
No, knocked. Excellent. Knocked.
On my door one night. I thought it was because I hadn't.
Yes.
Paid the rent for a few months, so I didn't open the door.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Maria Eugenia. Continue reading, please. Let me see who's here. Michelle Olaya. Se me fue hace rato, Michelle. Le había hecho una pregunta. But
Sí,
then,
mister, problemas con internet, por eso ya me volví a conectar de otro dispositivo.
that's good. Okay, continue reading, please. But then
I wondered if it was something to do with my mother. who I knew
Knew.
wasn't very well. There was no phone in the flat, and this was before the days of mobile phone.
Mobile phones.
Mobile phone. So I ran
Ran.
down to the nearest
Nearest.
phone box and phone
Phone box.
phone phone box and phone my dad in Leeds
Leeds. Good.
in the north of England.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Continue reading, Cristina.
He told me that my mom
He
was
told me. Repeat.
told me.
He told me.
He told me that my mom was very ill in hospital and that he should go home as soon as he could.
Okay. Sorry, Cristina. I, no E.
I.
I. Repeat the sentence. He told me.
He told me that my mom was very ill in hospital and that I should go soon as I could.
I could. Okay, Cristina, thank you very much. So look at this. This is an interesting situation because, first of all, he was a student. So we're talking about a young person, okay? And suddenly the police came in and they were saying something bad about his mom. So he called his dad, and dad told him that mom was very ill. The word ill means sick, enferma, sick in the hospital, and he had to go home. So this is interesting because apparently he's not from North London. He's studying and living in North London, but he's from Leeds. It's a different town, a different city, so he will have to go back so he can watch his mom. Let's see what comes next. Continue reading, please, Mr. Jordan.
When I go to the station, I found that it missed
I'd
I missed
missed.
missed the last train to Leeds. There was a train to Petersburg,
Uh-huh.
from where some local train went to Leeds, but I would miss the connection by about 20 minutes. I decided to get the Petersburg train. I was so uh, desperate,
Desperate.
desperate to get home that I thought maybe I could hit
Hitchhike.
hitchhike from Petersburg.
All right. Thank you very much, Jordan. So as you can see, this person had a real emergency. He had to go back to his town or his city in Leeds, but there was no train. The last train had gone already, so he missed the train. And maybe he would have the opportunity to get to the place by making a connection to Petersburg, right? So that was pretty much what's happening here. He was desperate to go home, so he needed to get to this place. Let's continue. Let's see what happened. I'm gonna ask now. Let me see. Who is here? Maria de Los Angeles.
Tickets, please. I looked it up and saw the ticket.
Looked.
looked up and
No,
saw the ticket.
looked.
Looked,
Looked up.
looked up and saw the ticket inspector. He could see from my eyes that I'd been crying. Are you okay? He asked. Of course, I'm okay, I said. You look awful. He continued. Is there anything I can do? You could go away, I said rudely.
Wow, you could go away. Váyase de aquí. You could go away. Okay, thank you, Maria de Los Angeles. So as you can, oh, by the way, pronunciation. This should make it easy because remember in English, you don't have to pronounce every single letter and make a pause. That makes it difficult. It's like you were saying looked up. No, if you combine the words, you would say dup, right? Because the last letter of one word is mentioned at the beginning of the next word. So you pretty much say look with the K, looked up, looked up. And then you can get the sound of the past tense. I looked up. You see? Try it, please, Maria de Los Angeles.
Look up.
No, no, look up. Looked up.
Looked up.
Pero está la pausa. ¿Qué le estoy
Mm.
diciendo? Que la D de looked vaya
Uh-huh.
junto a up. Entonces usted solo dice look con K y luego la siguiente palabra la dice como dup, no up.
Mm.
Inténtelo.
I look up.
I looked up,
I looked up.
pero dup, que suene la D, es importante.
I looked up.
Ajá, ahí lo tiene. Ese es el sonido natural. All right, another person. I would like to hear this from Adrián. I looked up.
The word, right?
Yes, only the word. We're practicing pronunciation.
I looked up.
Very good. Very good. That sounds natural. Thank you, Adrián. Another person. Iván Almeida.
I looked up.
Very good. That's it. Good pronunciation. Daniel Delgado.
I looked up.
Very good. Michelle Olaya.
I looked up.
Very good. There you go. Maria Eugenia.
I looked at.
Okay, it's correct, but the last letter is a P, not a T.
Okay.
It's not I looked at. I looked up.
I looked at.
Again,
I
está
looked.
sonando una T al final, no una P. La P es con los labios. I looked up.
I looked up.
There you go. Thank you, Maria Eugenia. Julissa.
I looked up.
I looked up. Again.
I looked up.
Okay, the problem is it's not looked. No es una T. It's a
Okay.
K. I looked
I looked
up.
I looked up.
Ok, pero ya no dice up, dice dup, con una D.
Okay.
Repeat.
Okay. I looked up.
No, la D no va al final, va al principio. I looked up.
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 Pero no es up, es dup. La D de look, la D que está al final de looked, va al principio de up.
Looked up.
I looked up.
I looked up.
I looked up.
Aha, yes, that's it. That's it. Thank you, Julissa. All right, so it's not, I mean, when you pronounce these words, when you speak in English, this is a combination that English speakers do. All right, the last consonant from the word combines together with the first vowel of the next one. So it's not I looked up, making a pause, because that makes it a little bit harder. All right, when you speak in a natural pace, all the words are linked together. All right. All right, let me see if I find. Yes, we have another example here. Well, maybe this one is not that difficult because we have the word ticket in Spanish as well. Saw the ticket inspector. You see, it's the same principle. Ticket, you say ticket, and the word T is combined with the next word. So ticket inspector, inspector. You see, ticket inspector. And when you the second one, let me see. Andrea Sanchez, ticket inspector.
Ticket inspector.
Ticket inspector.
Ticket inspector.
Again, ticket inspector.
Ticket inspector.
Está diciendo ticket. The N is later, not there. Ticket. Ticket inspector.
Ticket inspector.
Ajá, ok. Ahora más rápido.
Ticket inspector.
Ajá, that's it. So it's a combination of consonants and vowels. I want to hear Cecilia. Thank you, Andrea.
Ticket inspector.
Ok, pero no haga pausa.
Ticket inspector.
Very good. The ticket inspector. You see, it makes it feel more natural when you are saying many words at once. All right. Thank you very much. So let's go back to the reading. We need to understand that the person missed the last train and was trying to hitchhike. To hitchhike from a different town or city. And then the ticket inspector was asking the person to show him the ticket. And he could just say, go away, which is very rude. Now, the word rude no es rudo. Rude is grosero. All right, so I said rudely, so I said it in a rude way. You could go away. I mean, I don't care about you and I'm rude and I don't want to be nice with you. But he didn't. So let's see what happened at the end of this reading. Jordan Suarez. But he didn't.
Excuse me, teacher.
Continue reading, but he didn't.
But he didn't. He sat down and said, if there is a problem, I am here to help. The only thing I could think of was to tell him my story. When I finished, I said,
No, finish it, finished.
finished. I said, so now you know, I am a bit upset. I don't feel like talking anymore. Okay, okay, he said finally, getting up. I am sorry to hear that. So, uh, son,
Yes.
son, I hope you make it home.
I hope you make it home.
I hope you make it home.
No, don't make it. No hay dos it. Make it home.
Make it home.
Yes. All right. As you can see, thank you, Jordan. As you can see, he told him the story about his mom and he was afraid. So he was simply not in the mood of having a conversation. So the ticket inspector would say, I'm sorry, and I hope you make it home, which means I understand that you're not going directly and you're looking for a way to get home, and I hope you can make it. I hope you can really do what you're trying to do. So at the end, I continued to look out of the window at the dark countryside. 10 minutes later, the ticket inspector came back. By the way, the countryside means el campo. So he was looking, it was night, it was dark, and he was looking at the window to the dark countryside. So that's what's going on right now. Let me see. Let me put this again correctly. Here we go. Much better. All right. So now we know now we know what happened already. Now the question is, what do you think happened next? Do you think this person got home, or maybe he got he was like trapped in Petersburg? What do you think happened next? Well, before we continue the story, I mean, I am only going to give you like the doubt of what happened next. Maybe you can start wondering about this. We are going to do this listen and answer the questions. Maybe we find answers here.
(5.2)
The ticket inspector touched my arm. Listen, he said, when we get to Peterborough station, run as fast as you can to platform 1. The Leeds train will be there. I looked at him without really understanding what he had said. What do you mean? I said. Is the train late or something? No, it's not late, the ticket inspector said. I've just radioed Peterborough station. The train is going to wait for you. As soon as you get on, it'll leave. The passengers will complain, but let's not worry about that. You'll get home, and that's the main thing. And he walked away. I suddenly realized what an amazing thing he had done. I got up and went after him. I wanted to give him everything I had, all the money in my wallet, but I knew he would be offended. I grabbed his arm. I just wanted to, but I couldn't continue. It's okay, he said, no problem. I wish I had a way to thank you, I said. I really appreciate what you've done. No problem, he said again. Listen, if you want to thank me, the next time you see someone in trouble, help them. That will pay me back. And tell them to do the same to someone else. It'll make the world a better place. When the train stopped, I rushed to platform 1, and sure enough, the Leeds train was there waiting. And a few hours later, I was with my mum in hospital. Even now, years later, whenever I think of her, I remember the good ticket inspector on that late-night train to Peterborough. It changed me from a young man who was nearly a criminal into a decent human being. I've been trying to pay him back ever since then.
All right. Now you know what happened. And it's a very interesting situation, considering that this was like a chain of favor. And now we're just doing the listening here because you have to write the answers over there. But I don't want you to write them. I want you to speak. So what did Bernard have to do as he got off the train? What was the instruction? Question 4. Question 4. Nicole.
The first question.
The first question. The inspector told him to do something when they arrived. What was it?
I don't listen very well, but can repeat the audio?
It's a long audio. I'm going to repeat it, but I hope you all have the answers for the 3 questions. You have them on the screen.
5.2
The ticket inspector touched my arm. Listen, he said, when we get to Peterborough station, run as fast as you can to platform 1. The Leeds train will be there. I looked at him without really understanding what he had said. What do you mean? I said. Is the train late or something? No, it's not late, the ticket inspector said. I've just radioed Peterborough station. The train is going to wait for you. As soon as you get on, it'll leave. The passengers will complain, but let's not worry about that. You'll get home, and that's the main thing. And he walked away. I suddenly realized what an amazing thing he had done. I got up and went after him. I wanted to give him everything I had, all the money in my wallet, but I knew he would be offended. I grabbed his arm. I just wanted to, but I couldn't continue. It's okay, he said, no problem. I wish I had a way to thank you, I said. I really appreciate what you've done. No problem, he said again. Listen, if you want to thank me, the next time you see someone in trouble, help them. That will pay me back. And tell them to do the same to someone else. It'll make the world a better place. When the train stopped, I rushed to platform 1, and sure enough, the Leeds train was there waiting. And a few hours later, I was with my mum in hospital. Even now, years later, whenever I think of her, I remember the good ticket inspector on that late-night train to Peterborough. It changed me from a young man who was nearly a criminal into a decent human being. I've been trying to pay him back ever since then.
All right, Nicole. Are you able to answer the question 1 now?
That I understand he leave the passengers in the train.
He needed to leave the train, but he had to run. But run where?
In the hospital.
Not the hospital, because when he dropped off the train, he would be in the train station, not in the hospital. Remember, he was going to a different city. He's in the train station. The ticket inspector says that he needs to run. Where?
He said that his mom is sick.
Yes, I understand his mom is sick. We all know that. But now he received an instruction. What is the instruction? He had to run. Where?
To the platform 1.
Yes, to platform 1. We are in the station. Remember, the train station. So now he has to run to platform 1 because he's going to catch the next train to go to Leeds. Leeds is the name of his city where his mom is. So he has to run. All right, run to station 1. Who was that, Valeria?
Yes.
Yes, all right, Valeria. Thank you so much for your help. Now, what was the reaction? Well, the reaction is definitely he was surprised. But why? Why was he surprised? This is more analytical. They didn't mention that. You need to understand it. Why was he surprised? This question is for anyone. If you know the answer, say it, please.
Because the ticket inspector was a good person.
What did he do? And he wasn't
help
supposed to.
someone. He stopped the train to help someone. Like
Yes,
that.
almost there. He didn't stop the train. He called the other train and asked the other train to wait for him until they arrived. So the whole train was waiting for this person. All right, that's what happened. And that's the good deed. That's the good action that then the inspector is asking Bernard to do afterwards in the future. Whenever you have the chance to help people, please do so. That's the way you can thank me back. All right, that's pretty much what happened here. That's part of the listening comprehension, guys and ladies. All right, so many people wrote after they listened to this story in the BBC, right? You know, the BBC, the British broadcast channel. Several people wrote and shared the stories about helping strangers. All right. So we're going to read these stories as well to make a comparison about how people are helping each other. And remember, we are helping strangers. We're not helping anyone. I mean, anyone that we know. We're basically helping people that we don't know. And we should contrast that situation with where we live today. So this reading is called The Students. I would like to listen the reading from Marcos Merchan. Start reading, please.
The students. I was living in South Korea at the time teaching
Korea. In
English.
English, it's Korea.
Korea. At the time teaching English. I had to leave the country and return again because of problems with my visa. So I booked a ferry to Fukuoka in Japan. I intended to change some Korean money into Japanese yen when I got there, but when I arrived, I discovered it was a holiday in Japan and all the banks were closed. I didn't have a credit card, so I walked from the ferry terminal towards the town, wondering what I was going to do without any Japanese money.
Thank you very much, Marcos. So we can see the first problem, right? Apparently the person was having trouble with the visa, right? And this is something that many Europeans and North Americans, they normally do, and they call it border run, right? Because they have to go out and then come back, right? It's not like Ecuadorians who need a visa for every single country, they can access just with their passport. But when they arrive, they only have 30 days or 90 days. And after that time is over, before the time is over, they have to exit the country and they can go back again. And they can do that forever and nothing will happen. It's a very interesting thing that they offer to these people, something that's the dream. But he was in Japan, right? And it was a holiday and banks were closed, so he didn't have money. All the banks were closed and he didn't have any Japanese money. He was an English teacher. So now we understand the problem. Let's see what happened and how this is related with helping strangers. Continue reading, please, Mr. Johnny. Welcome to the class, Johnny.
Thank you. Wait, what lines? I was feeling
Lonely and depressed.
lonely and depressed when suddenly I heard a young couple speaking French. I asked then if they spoke any English. They told me in good English that they were Belgian students. When I explained my problem, they immediately offered to take me around the city and look for somewhere where I could change money. They paid for my bus ticket and they took me to several places, and then we found a hotel where I was able to change my cash. They then invited me to join them and their friends for the evening or even
for the evening.
Evening. I had a fantastic night and have never forgotten how they changed all their plans just to help a stranger. Karim.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, and this was a lady, Karina. Actually, English speaker, so Karina, right? And Karina, she was she was there in Japan. She didn't have any Japanese money, which is the yen, and apparently she spoke with some people who were speaking French, all right? But they could also speak English. They were from Belgium. That's the meaning of Belgian, the Belgica, right? The Belgian students. And they even paid for the bus ticket. And she ended in a hotel where she could change the money. And they even became friends. I mean, normally people are not, depending on the culture, but people are not trying to help strangers like that. And suddenly you find people who are even willing to pay for your bus ticket. So that's something good, definitely something good, and the person could solve her problem. All right. All right. Oh, I just read your message, Johnny. You mean the rain? Is it raining?
In the night when I live what?
Uh-huh. Do you live in Guayaquil, Johnny?
Yes.
So it was raining in Guayaquil,
In my sector, yes.
in your zone.
In my zone, yes.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know it was the rainy season already. Okay, let's continue. That's the first one. Let's read the second, the angel. Oh, so these are the people who help. In the first story, it was the ticket inspector. In the second story, it were the Belgian students. Now it's the angel. Who's the angel? Let's see about this. I think I saw Ronnie. Ronnie, are you ready? Oh, by the way, before
Yes.
we sorry, Ronnie, before we continue, I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm going to finish recording the attendance. Remember, it's every hour. Ivan Almeida.
Present.
Thank you. Luis Andrade. Absent. Wilson Arreaga. Absent. Jorge Arroyo.
Present.
Thank you. Cristina.
Present.
Thank you. Daniel.
Present, mister.
Thank you. Nicole.
Present.
Thank you. Cecilia.
Present, teacher.
Thank you. María Eugenia. María Eugenia. She's gone.
Maria Junia told me to have a problem with the computer.
Oh, yes. She was having trouble since yesterday. Valeria Larrea.
Present.
Thank you. María de Los Ángeles.
Present.
Thank you. Marcos Merchan.
Present.
Thank you. Michelle Olaya.
Present.
Thank you. Andrea Sánchez.
Present, mister.
Thank you. Julissa Silva.
Present.
Thank you. Jordan.
Present.
Thank you. Johnny is here. Ronnie is here. Adrián.
Present.
Thank you. María Mercedes. Well, María Mercedes had a situation today. All right. So Michelle Olaya, is there any reason why you don't have your camera on?
Yes, your my camera.
Yeah, your camera is on right now, but
Yes.
you're constantly turning it off and on. Do you have any trouble?
Sorry.
Sorry, what? So no problem. You just turn it off because you want to. What about you, Yulisa? Are you having any trouble with your camera?
Es que estoy yendo al baño por momentos y también estoy
I
desayunando.
understand. Yes.
Ajá, sí.
Okay,
Estoy yendo
but
y...
I need you
y-
to, from now on, you won't have breakfast for 4 hours, right? So
Ujú.
now you can stay in one place and be part of the class.
Okay.
All right. I think that, oh, and Maria de Los Angeles, what's going on?
I have my camera on all the class.
But I can't see you. There's a black screen.
Um, let me change to my laptop. Maybe it's a problem with my phone.
All right. Yes, yes, because I haven't seen you like the whole class, but I know you are participating because as soon as I ask you, you immediately respond. So good. Thank you for that. Let's continue. I'm sharing the screen again. There we go. All right. The angel, Ronnie. Ronnie, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
The screen
All right.
down.
So
Okay. Okay.
there's the reading.
For Sunday.
Yes, it was a cold Sunday.
Okay. Sunday, a passing car stopped. The driver got out, opened the boot of his car, and took out a can of petrol. We walked.
Ronnie, what are you reading? We just started the angel on the top. It was a cold Sunday, not suddenly. It's the first paragraph.
Okay, okay. Sorry. It was a cold Sunday evening in the Manchester. I was on
Okay,
university.
correction. It's not evening, it's evening.
Okay. Evening in Manchester. I was a university student and my girlfriend and I had been invited to dinner with our two.
Careful. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you for pronunciation every time it's necessary. My girlfriend and I had been invited to dinner. Repeat.
My girlfriend and I had been invited to dinner.
Yes, continue.
With our tutor and his house 30 kilometers away. We decided to go on my motorbike, but we had not realized how cold it was. So we had not dressed it properly, and after 10 minutes on the bike, we were absolutely freezing. When we were about halfway there, his bike started to make a funny noise and then stopped.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So now we can see not one, but two problems. First problem, they were freezing. It was very cold. And second problem, the bike stopped working. It wasn't working anymore. All right, so how do they fix this? Interesting. Let's see. Finish reading, please, Jorge Arroyo. Thank you, Ronnie.
Okay, suddenly a passing car stopped.
Sorry,
The
we're
driver.
still in the final sentence of the other paragraph. We had run out.
We had run out. Okay, we had run out of petrol. We stood at the side of the road, shivering with cold and not sure what to do.
Continue, please.
Okay, continue. Suddenly, a passing car stopped. The driver got out, opened the boot of his car, and took out a can of petrol.
By the way, before we continue, what's a boot? Open the boot of his car.
The back from the car?
Yes, el maletero, right?
Maletero.
Where you put your things. All right, continue.
He walked up to my bike, opened the petrol tank, and poured the petrol in. He then closed the tank and got back into his car without saying a single word and drove away. We couldn't believe our luck. We sometimes wonder if the man who rescued us was an angel. Andy.
All right. As you can see, the interesting part of this was that the man didn't say a single word. Not a single word. And he helped the people. So you're having trouble. You don't have gasoline. And suddenly a man stops his car, goes down, take out a can of fuel, pour it in your motorbike, closes, and steps back into his car and drives away. Just like that. I mean, somebody who got there just to solve your problem without saying any word. So they call him an angel, the angel who helped them because they were all shivering with cold and on the side of the road. As you can see, that was definitely an interesting story about people helping other people. All right? But once again, this is a very hard thing to do in our context because we never know, right? You don't know the intentions of many people. This is the grammar part of the class. The grammar about the third conditional. So far, we have learned the first and the second conditional. But what is the third conditional? Well, let me share with you some of the rules that we have about this. So, the third conditional. Read the examples, please. Daniel Delgado.
Yes. Third conditional. If I known about the meeting, I would have gone. If James hadn't gone on that training course, he would not have met his wife. You wouldn't have lost your job if you hadn't been late every day. Would you have gone to the party if you'd known Lisa was there?
All right, thank you, Daniel. So we have a bunch of examples here of the third conditional, but as you can see, for grammar purposes, not for the intention, we're going to talk about intention a little bit later, but the third conditional, the second conditional talked about, right, like you have a condition. If this happens, this will happen in the future. And the second, it was imaginary, it was impossible. But the third conditional, it's not just about being possible or not. It's talking about events in the past. So as you can see, the condition is in past tense. Well, actually, yes, it's in past tense. And the result of the condition is in past perfect or present perfect. So we're going to see this grammar rules so that we understand very well how to use this. We normally use third conditional sentences to talk about how things could have been different in the past. Hypothetical or imaginary situations. Examples. Yesterday, I got up late and missed my train. That is the real situation. Now the third conditional. If I hadn't got up late yesterday, I wouldn't have missed my train. The hypothetical or imaginary past situation. So you talk about imaginary situations in the past. That's the third conditional. All right. All right. So we have another rule. To make a third conditional, you need to use the word if, which starts the condition, if, and the past perfect. All right. And together with the word would, have, and the past participle as well. All right, so it's a combination between past perfect and present perfect, but we don't call it present perfect because it's part of the expression would have. All right, the contraction of both had and would is apostrophe D. So this might be tricky for you when you do the activity because how do you know if it's had or would? Well, the only way you can do it is by understanding which is the condition and which is the consequence of the condition, right? If it's within the phrase with if, is had. Apostrophe D means had. If it's not, then it's would. All right? As you can see, we have some of these examples here. If I'd known, this I'd is I had or I would. What is it? According to this rule. If I'd known is if I had known or if I would known. What is it?
Had.
If I had, right? It's had because there's no way you can use would with past participle unless you have the word have in between. All right? All right, all right. So apparently there are some variations. We can use might or could instead of would to make the result less certain. All right, so it's just about the intention, but it's simply replacing the word would. If I'd known about the meeting, I might have gone. I could have gone. All right, so you decrease the certainty of your intention. All right, if you're using any of these two words instead of would, but it's just the replacement. The rule doesn't change. If she'd studied harder, she might have passed the exam. It's less certain, but still part of the consequence or the result of the condition. Once again, if she'd studied, is this if she would studied or if she had studied? What is it? Anyone? I'm reading on the bottom. If she'd studied, if she had studied, or if she would studied. What is it? Anybody?
Had.
It's had, right? Because the next word is past participle, you need the had. All right. And you have a situation here about a man losing his job. You wouldn't have lost your job if you hadn't been late every day. Now, as you can see, hadn't been late. So the condition is simply asking you to use the past perfect, but past perfect can also be used with this form, right? If you hadn't been late, you hadn't been, so you're using the verb to be, and the condition is in past perfect, and the result of the condition is would have and past participle. You wouldn't have lost your job. So third conditional, because you're putting a condition on an event of the past that you can't change anymore. All right? Boys and ladies, that is the rule that we need to follow. Now, I would like, well, we have like a nice breaker of this grammar section, probably not even applying the rules yet. But we are matching the result with the condition. All right. So let's see if we can match the first one. If the inspector hadn't stopped the train to Leeds, what would have happened?
He will have missed his connection.
Very good. He would have missed the connection. We are applying third conditional. If the inspector hadn't stopped. If these are the conditions, they go together with past perfect. Had. You see, the condition is with had in past perfect. Let's continue. Number 2. If the couple hadn't helped Karina,
She would have been alone without any money.
Very good. Number 8, letter A. And finally, number 3. If the man in the car hadn't stopped, they would.
would have had to walk for miles in the cold.
Very good. That's it. These are the answers for the first activity. Very simple. There we go. All right. We're going after the next grammar activity. We have 2 activities actually. So I am going to work the first one and you do by yourself the second one. All right. Explaining. Third conditional has more complex construction, but has very straightforward rules. So it should be simple to do it. So you just have to match the rules, match the phrases. Let me zoom. All right. So as you can see, letter D is already given for the first one. Billy wouldn't have injured his head if he had worn his helmet. What about number 1? Help me reading number 1, please. Let me ask now, Mr. Ivan Almeida. Read number 1 and give me the answer as well.
If I drive in any faster,
Yes, if I'd driven, not driving. If I'd driven any faster,
I could have got a spending fine.
I could have got a speeding fine. A fine means multa. All right. They also call it ticket. Speeding fine. So letter I goes with number 1. Thank you, Ivan. Let's continue. Number 2, Cecilia.
John might have got the job. Um, John might have got- if he'd been on time for his interview.
Very good, Cecilia. Just one correction. John might, not meet. John might.
John might.
John might have got the job if he'd been on time for his interview. Letter F goes with number 2. Thank you, Cecilia. Let's continue. Number 3, Adrian.
Okay. She would have hurt herself badly i- if i- is she falling down the stairs.
Yes, if she'd fallen down the stairs.
Um,
She didn't fall down the stairs, so she didn't hurt herself badly. You see the condition? And this happened in the past. So if she'd fallen down the stairs, letter H with number 3. Thank you, Adrian. Let's continue. Number 4. If Katie, Cristina,
If Katie haven't gone to the party. La E, she would
she wouldn't.
not, she wouldn't have met her new boyfriend.
She wouldn't have met.
She wouldn't have met her new boyfriend.
All right, Cristina. Thank you very much. Yes, it's definitely letter E. Thank you. Let's continue. Number 5. Number 5, I would like to listen from Maria de Los Angeles.
What would you have studied? What would you have studied? If you go to the university.
Yes, very good. So what do we interpret from this? A third conditional. He didn't go to the university. All right. Letter A is number 5. Thank you, Maria de Los Angeles. Let's continue with Michelle, number 6.
How would you have got in the airport? If the train had been on strike.
On a strike. Thank you, Michelle. By the way, a strike means huelga. All right. So if the trains had been on a strike, there were no trains, no transportation, then there was no way you could go to the airport. So it's letter J. J is number 6. Thank you, Michelle. Let's continue. Number 7, Julissa.
If you wore a warmer coat, you wouldn't have been so cold.
Yes, that is correct. You wouldn't have been so cold, which is letter B for number 7. Thank you, Julissa. Now, number 8, Maria Eugenia.
Your, your parents will have enjoyed the trip.
Your parents would have enjoyed the trip. Repeat.
Your parents would have enjoyed the trip.
Would have.
Would have enjoyed the trip.
Would have.
Would have enjoyed the trip.
Okay. If
they had come with us.
If they had come with us. Yes. All right. Thank you, Maria Eugenia. That is letter G. And finally, number 9. Number 9, Mr. Ronnie.
Would you have helped me if I had asked you?
If I'd asked you, yes, letter C. Very good. All right. So we finished the attempt. As you can see, the topic is simple. Using the third conditional, it's a little bit more challenging. You're talking about imaginary situations in the past. So there you have the answers. Now it's your turn to work on activity 1C. All right. I'm going to give you the 10 minutes that you normally have for doing the questionnaire. Yeah, 10 minutes. you have to rewrite the sentences. All right? Go ahead. Please start and start now. Start now. I don't want you starting after 10 minutes and then no. Okay? Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Valeria. Everybody, please begin 1C right now. Thank you, Marcos. Quiero ver que todos estén trabajando el 1C. Ahora mismo. El que no entra hasta máximo 2 minutos, le bloqueo la actividad. Thank you. Thank you, Cristina, Iván, Michelle, Adrián, Marcos. Okay. Still missing 4 students. Oh, maybe 4 students that were absent. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. All right. Thank you very much. Let's work on this for 10 minutes. All right, guys, apparently most of you have already finished the activity. I'm just missing a few students. And I'm wondering what happened here. We have some situations. Uh-huh. All right, I'm waiting for the students to finish. I'm just missing Julissa. Julissa, let me know when you're done.
Done.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, so apparently we did have some trouble in this activity. Let's review it together. I'm gonna do it right now. We need to keep the grade though. It's important that we keep track of the first try, on the first attempt that you have done. So it's consistent with what you're going to do in the exam. Right? Let me show you. Okay, so I am going to do this live. Please notice the analysis I do before answering any question. First of all, either, if it's a condition or if it's the result of the condition, you're always going to use the verb in past participle. All right? So, go, past participle, gone. Meet, past participle, met. Some students wrote the verbs in present. There is no present in third conditional. It's all past participle. It's all past participle. And if you don't remember the past participle, you need to review that because that's a topic that we have been learning since level 1, I think. All right? So that's the first thing. The verb is always in past participle. Second analysis, you need to identify where is the condition and where is the result, because the condition goes together with had and the result goes with would. Ahora en español, todo lo que tenga condición, a ver, la condición, el fragmento de la condición va con had. El fragmento del resultado va con would. ¿Cómo identifico la condición? Porque la condición siempre empieza con if. Entonces, si aquí va if, aquí no hay otra posibilidad que had. Es así de fácil. Si va if, va had. Si no va if, va would. Entonces, el otro lado lleva would. Es así, eso es todo. No hay más vuelta que darle al third conditional. Ese no debería haber sido el desafío. If you had, y ahora sí viene la parte de el verbo, ¿no? If you had not take. All right, so had in negative, hadn't, right? If you hadn't, and take, the past participle is taken. If you hadn't taken me to the airport, I would have, siempre es would have. Siempre es would have. O wouldn't have, si es negativo. Pero siempre es would y have. I would have missed, the past participle of miss. Once again, if you're having trouble with the past participle, you need to review. That's all I can tell you. There is no teaching past participle. No se enseña el past participle. Se enseña que existe, pero cada estudiante es responsable de aprenderse el past participle, así como en la escuela se aprendió las tablas de multiplicar. No hay otra forma. All right? So please, pay attention. This is important. Aquí, number 2, we, blah, 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 blah. We, that's not a condition. El condition siempre empieza con if. El condition está por acá. No siempre van a empezar con el condition. Pueden empezar con el result y luego con condition. Entonces, si el condition está acá, acá va had. Y aquí no hay condition. Aquí va would. That's it. Simple. That's how it works. We would. And the next one is not win. Okay, so wouldn't because it's negative. And what's the past participle of win? What's the past participle of win?
Won.
Won. All right, but aren't we missing something?
Have won.
Have, right? Because it's not just would, it's would have. So we wouldn't have won the match if the referee had not give. All right, so it's not had, it's hadn't, negative, hadn't given. All right, that's the second. Let's see the third. You, okay, no comenzó con if, va would. That's it. And not solo would have. You would have, and now we have the verb enjoy. In the past participle, enjoyed. You would have enjoyed the weekend if, ya está el condition if, así que aquí va had, de ley. No hay otra, another possibility. If you had past participle of come, past participle of come,
Come.
come, right? Remember, come in present, in past came. In past participle, come again. So it's come, had come. Number 4, if I, all right, so we have if here, it's a condition. So we put had. If I had not buy, all right, so it's negative. If I hadn't, past participle of buy, bought, right? If I hadn't bought the theater tickets online, they would have, because this is not the condition, would have, and be in past participle,
Been.
been. Very good. Next, Mike. No condition. Condition is if Mike would have forget. Past participle of forget,
Forgotten.
forgotten. Mike would have forgotten his wife's birthday if, now we have the condition, so we have had. The condition is with had. If she had not remind. If she hadn't remind, past participle, reminded. It's regular verb. Next, if the police, if is a condition, so we put had. If the police had arrived, past participle of arrive,
Arrived.
arrived. In past is regular. If the police had arrived 5 minutes later, they, no condition, so they would have, and it's negative, would not cash. So wouldn't have, and the past participle of catch, caught, right? They wouldn't have caught. All right, next. If, condition, so had. If you had not lent, so it's negative. If you hadn't, past participle of lend,
Lent.
lent with a T. Very good. Lent with a T. If you hadn't lent if you hadn't lent me the money, I, no condition, so I would have, and not be able. Not be able. So it's would in negative, wouldn't have. What's the past participle of be?
Being able.
Being able. Able is the adjective, right? Being able to go away for the weekend. Thank you. Next, you, no condition, so would have. You would have, what's the past participle of hurt?
Hurt.
Hurt. It's the same word, right?
Yes.
You would have hurt yourself if you, so condition, had. If you had, past participle of fall,
Fallen.
fallen. If you had fallen off the horse. Next, we, no condition, so would have. You see what I'm doing? It's very simple. The condition goes with had, the result goes with would have. That's it. That's the third conditional. We would have not find. Not, it's negative, so we wouldn't have, and the past participle of find,
Found.
found. Very good. We wouldn't have found the hotel if we have a condition, if we had not seen. So we have had in negative, hadn't what? Oh,
Seen.
by the way, the answer is already given here. You see, the person who wrote the answer sin querer. If we hadn't seen the signpost. Finally, 10. If it's a condition, had. If I had, past participle of no?
Not.
Known.
Not.
Known about the job, I would have, no condition, so would have. And the past participle of apply?
Apply.
Applied. There you go. All right, and that's it. That should be it. Let's see if we have any inconvenient. Nope. Those are the answers. As you can see, very simple. All right. All right. So, well, I just want to be nice with you. And considering that I already explained this again, I just wanted to see like the first score that you would get based on the class. Many of you got a 10, which is good. Most of the scores are above 5, which is another good indicator. Some scores are lower than 5. So just for that, I am going to release another attempt. I won't erase the attempt this time. What I'm gonna do is that I am going to give you one additional attempt that will average. All right? So it's different. I need track of what you did today. I need to keep track of this. All right? So if you want, it's up to you. You can do the activity again. All right? If you don't want, leave it there. But it will be an average. It's not the highest score. It's an average. If you got 5 and now you get 10, you will get 7.5, not 10. All right? Just for you to keep in mind. Okay, and before we move on, where are we? Oh, here. So we're doing this, but right now we are already on time for the break. So we're gonna pause the recording. You may turn off the cameras, go to the bathroom, have some water, and then you can come back 15 minutes later, right? See you in a while. Hello guys, welcome back again. Please, let's get ready for the second half of the session. Record. Okay, let me see. We're going to take the attendance once again. Ivan Almeida.
Present, teacher.
Thank you, Ivan. Luis Andrade was absent. Wilson was absent. Jorge Arroyo.
Present.
Thank you, Jorge. Don't forget to get ready with the camera. Cristina.
Present.
Thank you. Daniel.
Present, mister.
All right, Daniel. Thank you. Nicole. Nicole. Absent. Maria Eugenia.
Present.
Thank you. Cecilia.
Present, teacher.
Thank you. Valeria Larrea.
Present.
Thank you. María de Los Ángeles.
Present.
Thank you. Marcos Merchan.
Present.
Thank you. Michelle Olaya.
Present.
Thank you. Andrea Sánchez.
Present.
Thank you. Julisa Silva.
Present.
Thank you. Jordan Suárez.
Present.
Thank you, Jordan. Johnny.
Present.
Thank you. Ronnie.
Present, mister.
Thank you, Ronnie. Adrián.
Present.
Thank you. And María Mercedes, who is not here.
De los Ríos, present.
Oh, Nicole. Thank you, Nicole. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start again the next part of the class. All right, share the screen here. So the next activity is a pronunciation practice, but we're not going to practice pronunciation just yet, not in this activity, all right? But we still need to do the activity, all right? Listen and write 5 third conditional sentences. Here it is. Let me erase this. And this one is not necessary anymore, and this one's not necessary. All right. Same thing here. All right. So we're going to listen and write the sentences. So, I mean, you still need to do the activity, but you do it together with me. Let's begin with the first one.
5.4. 1. If I'd known you were ill, I would have come to see you.
All right. What was that?
If I know I will ill, I wouldn't come to see you.
All right. I am going to write exactly what you're saying. Valeria? No? Who was that?
María de Los Ángeles.
Maria de Los Ángeles. All right. Repeat what you said.
If I know
Uh-huh.
if I know I were ill,
If I know I were ill,
I wouldn't come to see you.
I wouldn't
Come to see you.
come to see you. All right. So, first of all, Maria de Los Ángeles and everyone else, this is supposed to be third conditional. In third conditional, the condition has the word had, right? So we write it like this. If I had known, and now the word know shouldn't be know, right? What is it?
Known.
Known, the past participle. If I had known I were. All right. Now that we have basic structure, we're going to listen again and make the corrections. Listen, please. Maria de Los Ángeles, this is exercises on you.
5.4. 1. If I'd known you were ill, I would have come to see you.
Ya sería if I'd know.
Uh-huh. So had has a contraction here. If I'd known what?
You were ill.
You were. That makes sense. If I'd known you were ill, I would
Come to see you.
I would come. So no wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we're missing something. Remember, third conditional. The result has
I
two
would
words.
have.
Uh-huh. I would have. Very good. I would have come to see you. Listen again.
Point 4. 1. If I'd known you were ill, I would have come to see you.
Uh-huh. That is exactly what she says. Maybe I could add a comma here because there's a pause. If I'd known you were ill, I would have come to see you. Nice. Thank you. Thank you for helping me with this. Let's continue with number 2. Now I would like to work it with Valeria Larrea. Pay attention, please.
2. If the weather had been better, we would have stayed longer.
What did you hear?
If the weather had been better, we would have stayed longer. We would.
This is what you told me. Now let's check again.
2. If the weather had been better, we would have stayed longer.
Good job. That's exactly what he said. If the weather had been better, I would have stayed longer. Okay, thank you, Valeria. Now I need a boy to help me with this. Johnny, number 3.
3. If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late.
Please repeat again.
3. If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late.
If one more time, please.
Of course.
There's a word that I don't understand.
Maybe we can put it a little bit slower. Remember,
Okay.
you have this function in Moodle too.
3. If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late.
Alright. Alright. If I alright, if I I muchas palabras. A ver. If I would alright, if déjame anotarlo otra vez.
3. If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late.
If I hadn't stopped petrol, we would get late.
Yes, if I hadn't stopped.
Stop.
To do what?
The petrol.
Yeah, she mentioned something about petrol, right? Gasoline, petrol. If I hadn't stopped, but you're missing something here. You're missing something here. Do you know the second part?
If I hadn't petrol, we
Let's do it again.
If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late.
Ahí sería stop it, get petrol.
Stopped. Okay. You're gonna put get, but you're still missing one word.
We will be later.
We would be later.
We will be later.
Okay. Let's listen again. Now, normal pace. Let's make a correction. If you have any proposal, please tell it to me.
If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late.
If I hadn't stopped get petrol, it would be be late.
So it's not later, it's late.
Late.
Okay, we would be late. Is that correct?
No,
We're working with third conditional. This is the condition with had, and this is the result with the word would. Are you missing anything?
We would have been late.
Would have. Very good.
We will have.
Have and have has the past participle, so it's not be, it's
has been.
Have been late. All right, let's listen again.
3. If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late.
It's not we, it's I.
It's I. Very good. Is that it?
To get.
To get.
To get.
That's it. If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I would have been late. Is that correct? We're missing one little thing.
3.
I wouldn't.
If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late.
Somebody said the answer.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Very good.
Oh.
I wouldn't have been late. All right. That sounds like it, right? If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late. There we go. All right. We have one more. Number 4. What is it? Let's see.
4.
Wait, I forgot to ask somebody. Let me see. Who is here? This question is for Adrian. You're next.
Okay, miss.
Wait, I have to do it again. So we have the text. All right. How was this? I have to write them again. And we stop in number 4. Give me a moment, please.
5.4. 1. If I'd known you were ill, I would have come to see you. 2.
If the weather had been better, we would have stayed longer. 3. If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late.
4. Okay, Adrian, 4.
4.
We would have missed our flight if it hadn't been delayed.
Can you repeat? One.
We would have missed our flight if it hadn't been delayed.
We wouldn't miss. We wouldn't. Miss. That's part. Again.
Would have missed our flight.
Mr.
4.
We would have missed our flight if it hadn't been delayed.
Mr. A fly. We hadn't delayed and again.
Okay, Adrian, thank you very much. As you can see, we need to make the correction so that we transform this into third conditional. So let's identify the missing parts. We, no condition. So we know that the word is not like this. We wouldn't have. And if it's have, the next word is
Yes.
past participle, right? We wouldn't have missed a flight. And now we have the result. So probably the second part is the condition, which begins with the word
If.
if. If it hadn't, and well, it's hadn't, and delayed is not past participle. I mean, we're missing something, right?
Been.
Been, right? Been. All right, let's listen to it again because we still need to make some corrections.
4.
We would have missed our flight if it hadn't been delayed.
So the second part, if it hadn't been delayed, it's correct. There's something here.
It's only wood.
It's only would. It's not wouldn't. It's not negative. We would have missed, and it's not a flight.
Hour.
Hour, right? Oh, sorry. We would have missed our flight if it hadn't been delayed. Listen to it again.
4.
We would have missed our flight if it hadn't been delayed.
And that's it. All right. These are the sentences that we're listening. And once again, this is just a listening assignment, but there is no correction in Moodle. So this is the answer and we worked it together. All right. You don't have to do this activity in Moodle because we already did it together and we practiced. All right. There is no score on this activity. Let's continue. Yes. All right. So now that we did this, we know, oh, and you have the words here. We can compare. I didn't notice we had the words there. If I'd known you were ill, I would have come to see you. If the weather had been better, we would have stayed longer. If I hadn't stopped, did we write longer? Now I forget. We would have stayed longer. Did anybody take a screenshot?
Yes, we did it.
Okay, thank you. If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late. We would have missed our flight if it hadn't been delayed. That's it. I didn't notice we had the answers out, but still, this was a good exercise, good listening exercise. So we have this, and then we have a speaking section, but no activity. So we can move on to the reading and listening. It's pretty much what we have been doing all class. All right, so we have article A, and the title of this article is A Question of Luck. A question, the word question means pregunta, but it also means cuestión. Una cuestión de suerte, a question of luck. So let's see what we learned about this reading. We have 2 pages for this reading, and then we have some reading comprehension activity that we are going to answer together once again. So let's begin reading this. Maria Eugenia.
What is the questions? We always ask about successful people. We
Careful,
want
careful. Again, what is the question we always ask about? Successful
okay.
people? Repeat.
What is the questions we will ask
Always.
always about Susan's people?
We always.
We always about Susan's people.
Hay una palabra que no está diciendo, María Eugenia. We always ask.
Okay, we always ask about Susan's people.
Successful people.
Successful people.
No okay. Yesterday we practiced this word also. Success.
Success.
Successful people. Repeat.
People. Successful people.
There you go. Okay, one thing. I found it a little bit funny the way you're pronouncing about. Because Canadians usually pronounce this like about. And it's funny. I mean, Americans make fun of Canadians because they have different pronunciations. And you're pronouncing it like the Canadian style, about. But it's not about, it's about. Remember, you're practicing this with American or British English. All right? We always ask about successful people. Repeat.
Okay. About successful people.
Successful people.
Successful people.
Excellent. Continue.
Okay, we can know to know what they the power I do most. What they like, what kinds of personalities they have, or how intelligent they are, or some kind of lifestyles.
What kind of lifestyles?
Kind of lifestyles they had, or what special talents they might have been born with.
Thank you, Maria Eugenia. That's it. So we're just wondering about people that are successful, right? The personalities, if they are intelligent, if they have a special lifestyle or special talents that they were born with. Let's continue. Let me try now with Andrea. Is Andrea here? Yes. Andrea, and we assume
that it's those personality qualities
yes,
that applies on that individual gets to take top of his or her professional.
continue.
But according to Malcolm
Gladwell,
in this book author, we are asking the wrong question. He thinks that will talent is about a factor. They are two other more
obviously a factor.
about a factor. They are two other more important ones.
Important
Important
ones
ones that make a person
that make a person
successful,
successful.
successful,
Successful.
successful.
No es success. Successful.
Successful.
Excellent.
The fears
The
of death,
first.
the fears of death
These,
factor,
the first of these factors
the fear of this factor is luck.
is luck.
Is luck.
All right. Repeat, please. Andrea, I want you to read from here. There are two other.
They are two other more important.
Ya le había corregido esto. Esto no es import, es important. Again.
They are to other more important.
Important.
Important. Ones that make a person successful.
Successful.
Successful. The first of this factor is luck.
Is luck. Very good, Andrea. Thank you. All right. So there's a person, a writer. He wrote a book, Outliers, and he says that we're asking the wrong questions. We should be asking other things. But one of the factors, the first factor is luck. The word luck means suerte. Okay? A lucky person es una persona suertuda o afortunada. Okay? Let's continue. He begins with the example. Continue reading, please, Mr. Jordan.
He begins with the example of sport players in recent research done
Recent research
done on various groups of elite ice hockey players from Canada.
Elite ice hockey players.
Okay, elite ice hockey player from Canada and the Czech Republic.
The Czech. República Checa, the Czech Republic.
The Czech Republic. One fascinating fact came to life in both countries. It was discovered that 40% of the
40%.
players
40%.
40% of the players in the top teams were born between January and March. 13% between April and June, 20 between July and September.
July
and September, and only 10% between October and December. The explanation
was simple.
The explanation was simple.
Okay, thank you, Jordan. Continue reading, please. Let me see who we have here. Cecilia. The explanation was simple.
The school year in this country runs from January to December. A boy who is 10 on January to
Second.
Will be in the same class as one whose 10 days birthday is on December 30. The changes are the first boy will be bigger, stronger, and more coordinated. He is much more likely,
yes,
than the other boy to be chosen to play in junior teams.
Thank you, Cecilia. Let's continue. Cristina. He will then
keep better watch than the other
better coaching.
He will then get better coaching than the other and will play many more games. So we also get more practice. In the beginning is
In the beginning. In the beginning.
In the beginning is
advantage
isn't so much that he is more talented.
Talented.
Simple that he is older.
Simply.
That
he is
he
older.
is older.
Okay, Cristina. Read again. Desde aquí, con las correcciones que le hice. Lea de nuevo. He will. Cristina.
Perdón, estaba leyendo ya.
Aquí. He
He
will.
will, he will be better coaching than the other and will play many more games. So will us get more practice in the beginning.
Mhm.
Is advantage
Advantage.
isn't so much that he is more talented, simple.
Talented. Simply.
That simply that is all older.
Older. Thank you, Cristina. Continue reading, please, Ivan.
He was lucky enough to be born in the first month of the year. But by the age of 13 or 14, with the extra coaching and practice, he really will be better than the others and far more likely to be successful.
Again.
The extra
Successful.
successful.
Yes.
The extra practice is vital because the second factor that Gladwell believes is of great importance in determining whether somebody
Determining.
determining whether somebody
Whether.
determining whether somebody is going to be successful or not is what he calls the 10,000 hours theory.
Thank you, Ivan. Finish reading, Michelle. This theory Michelle,
Yes.
finish reading, please. This theory
Mm, mm, mm. No encuentro esa parte.
aquí. This theory
Yeah, this theory based on
based
based on studies in many different fields
fields
say that in order to get to the very top you need to put in 10
thousand
10,000 hours of practice. Whether it is playing an instrument or a sport or programming a computer.
Very good. That's it. So this is interesting because yes, the first factor is luck, but the second factor is just hard work. And it's the 10,000 hours theory. If you practice something for 10,000 hours, you will be an expert in that. And it sounds right. It makes sense. If you're doing many things over and over again for a lot of time, you become an expert. So this is his theory. Interesting. So is it just about luck? The answer is no, it's not about luck. It's about hard work and how many hours you put into the practice of the thing that you want to do. So the three questions were, first, what three factors does he think being successful really depends on?
Talent, look, and practice.
Yes, it's luck and practice. Luck is the first factor, and luck is the first factor, practice is another factor, but there are three factors. And we mentioned the first factor at the beginning.
Talent.
Talent, yes. So talent, luck, and actually in order.
Practice.
Luck, talent, and practice. That's what makes a person successful. Successful, not successful. All right. Number 2. Why is it an advantage for sports players to be born on the first months of the year in some countries? Why is it an advantage to be born in the first months of the year?
More younger.
They will be younger, so they will have more time to practice. Very good, Mr. Daniel. And the last one, number 3. What is the 10-hour thousand theories? 10,000 hours theory. What is it about? Anyone? What is the 10,000 hour theory? That you need to practice for how many hours?
100.
For 10,000, no 100. 100 es 100. 1,000 es 1,000. So you need to practice for 10,000 hours to become an expert. That's the 10,000 hour theory. All right. Let's continue. That was the reading we had for this moment. Next. We're now going to listen to 2 other examples that Gladwell, the author of the book, mentions, the Beatles and Bill Gates. What 2 main reasons that he give for their extraordinary success? Listening, and then we answer this question. 2 main reasons. We're trying to identify the reasons.
5.6. Apart from the hockey players, he also gives the examples of the Beatles, the most famous rock band of all time, and Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. The Beatles were really lucky to be invited to play in Hamburg in 1960. The club owner who invited them normally only invited bands from London. But on one trip to the UK, he met an entrepreneur from Liverpool who told him that there were some really good bands in that city. When the Beatles arrived in Hamburg, they had to work incredibly hard. They had to play for up to 8 hours a night in the club, 7 nights a week. As John Lennon said later, "We got better and we got more confidence. We couldn't help it with all the experience we got from playing all night long in the club." By 1964, when they became really successful, the Beatles had been to Hamburg 4 times and had already performed live an estimated 1,200 times, far more than many bands today perform in their entire careers. Bill Gates's huge stroke of good luck came in 1968, when the high school he was at decided to spend some money they'd been given on a computer. This computer was kept in a little room that then became the computer club. In 1968, most universities didn't have a computer club, let alone schools. From that time on, Gates spent most of his time in the computer room, as he and his friends taught themselves how to use it. "It was my obsession," Gates says of those early high school years. "I skipped athletics. I went up there at night. We were programming at weekends. It would be a rare week that we wouldn't get 20 or 30 hours in." So Gates was unbelievably lucky to have access to a computer, but of course he also put in all those hours of practice too. Talent, Gladwell concludes, is obviously important, but there are many talented people out there. What makes just a few of them special is that they are lucky and that they put in far more hours of practice than the rest.
All right. So what are the reasons for their extraordinary success?
Hard work and lucky.
Again, hard
Sí.
work, and luck. They are all talented, but he says that talent is not enough if you don't have the chance to practice that talent, right? So there you go. That's pretty much it. We have a questionnaire here. Let's check what it is about. Oh, yep. Once again, listening comprehension. Where do they play and between which years? Did they mention this information?
Mister,
Yes.
a question. The last exercise that we'll do together is not necessary to do the model too.
It's not necessary to do what?
To do the model. I mean, the right answer is the.
Oh, no. We're doing it. All of these writing assignments are being done together with me, so you don't have to do it.
Okay.
All right, this is just for practicing. Right now, I'm focusing more on speaking, pronunciation, and listening. That's why I'm asking you not to do these activities where you have to write and answer. You're gonna do the ones that you have to match, that you have to put 1A, 2B, so on, but not this. Thank you for your question, Adrian. Hi, teacher, please remember. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna check that in a moment. So, as I was saying, where did they play and between which years? I'm gonna play that part again so we have the answer.
5.6. Apart from the hockey players, he also gives the examples of the Beatles, the most famous rock band of all time, and Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. The Beatles were really lucky to be invited to play in Hamburg in 1960. The club owner who invited them normally only invited bands from London.
All right. Where was that?
London.
Oh, are you sure? Again?
Of Microsoft. The Beatles were really lucky to be invited to play in Hamburg in 1960.
It's not London.
Hamburg, 1960.
Hamburg, right?
1960.
1960. Hamburg, 1960. But it says between which years? So maybe they mentioned another year.
The club owner who invited them normally only invited bands from London. But on one trip to the UK, he met an entrepreneur from Liverpool who told him that there were some really good bands in that city. When the Beatles arrived in Hamburg, they had to work incredibly hard. They had to play for up to 8 hours a night in the club, 7 nights a week. As John Lennon said later, "We got better and we got more confidence. We couldn't help it with all the experience we got from playing all night long in the club." By 1964, when they became really successful, the Beatles had been to Hamburg 4 times and had already performed live an estimated 1,200 times.
They did mention, so from 1962
64.
1964. Yes. And now the question that you already answered, Daniel. Where did the club owner usually get bands from?
London.
From London, yes. How much did they have to play?
1,000 hours.
I don't think that's what they said. The 1,200, I think it's number 4. Let's play that part again.
A night in the club, 7 nights work incredibly hard. They had to play for up to 8 hours a night in the club, 7 nights a week.
That's the time they had to play. How many hours? Yes, 8 hours per night. And how many nights per week?
7 nights.
7 nights per week. So basically every day. Every day for 8 hours. Wow. That's a lot of playing, if you ask me. 8 hours per night, 7 nights per week. So every day they are playing for 8 hours, more than what we work. They were playing. So at the end, they said,
As John Lennon said later, we got better and we got more confidence. We couldn't help it with all the experience we got from playing all night long in the club. By 1964, when they became really successful, the Beatles had been to Hamburg 4 times and had already performed live an estimated 1,200 times.
how many times?
1,000 to understand.
Yes, 1,200 times. They had performed a lot. That's why they were very successful. And that's about the Beatles. Now let's talk about Bill Gates. When did his school start a computer club?
Far more than many bands today perform in their entire careers. Bill Gates's huge stroke of good luck came in 1968, when the high school he was at decided to spend some money they'd been given on a computer. This computer was kept in a little room that then became the computer club. In 1968, most universities didn't have a computer club, let alone schools. From that time on, Gates spent...
All right, did you get the year? When did his school start a computer club?
1968.
1958.
68 or 69? Let me check
68.
again, because I believe the computer club came after they bought the computer. So let's see when.
1968, when the high school he... Bill Gates's huge stroke of good luck came in 1968.
Okay, in 1968, what happened?
When the high school he was at decided to spend some money they'd been given on a computer.
So in 1968, they bought a computer.
This computer was kept in a little room that then became the computer club. In 1968, most universities didn't have a computer club, let alone schools. From that time on, Gates spent most of his time in the computer room.
Okay, so yes, it was the same year. They didn't give you more information. Simply they said later. It later became the computer club. But they bought the computer in 1968. Now, the next question is, why was this unusual?
He spent a lot of time in the computer.
Yes, but that's not what is unusual. Why is it
Okay.
unusual that the school bought a computer? They say something. They compare the school with universities. What happened in the universities?
All the students of university have a computer.
Yeah, actually what they said is that not even the universities had computers. Not even. All right, but the school did. Listen to that part again.
On a computer. This computer was kept in a little room that then became the computer club. In 1968, most universities didn't have a computer club.
Most universities didn't have a computer club,
let alone schools. From that time on,
let alone the schools. So, I mean, if the universities don't have a computer club, why would a school have one? So that's why they say that Bill Gates was very lucky, because he studied in a school where he had a computer in a time where that was impossible. So most universities didn't have a computer club. So next we have the question, what did he and his friends do at weekends? Pay attention.
Gates spent most of his time in the computer room as he and his friends taught themselves how to use it. It was my obsession, Gates says of those early high school years. I skipped athletics, I went up there at night, We were programming at weekends. It would be a rare week that we wouldn't get 20 or 30 hours in.
What were they doing at a weekend?
Programming.
Specific.
Spend time at the computer program.
Programming. Programming. Oh, sorry. I didn't finish writing. Sorry. All right. So programming. And finally, number 8. How many hours did he spend at the computer club every week? Did they mention this?
20 and 30 hours.
20, from 20 to 30 hours. Let's check that.
Of those early high school years. I skipped athletics. I went up there at night. We were programming at weekends. It would be a rare week that we wouldn't get 20 or 30 hours in. So Gates was unbelievably lucky to have access to a computer, but of course he also put in all those hours of practice too. Talent, Gladwell concludes, is obviously important, but there are many talented people out there. What makes just a...
All right. So that would be it for this listening assignment. Very nice, very interesting as well. So we know that it's not all about luck. It's also about having the talent. But it's the mix of these two things that will make the person really successful. All right. Now we have some questions that we might use at some point, maybe in a speaking practice, but this is not what we're doing right now. Now we have a vocabulary exercise, which is the last part of this unit. Afterwards, we're gonna do some Alticia practice, considering we didn't do Alticia yesterday. Today, we're gonna have a little more time to work on Alticia. All right? So let's get started with this vocabulary. One of these is luck, for example, being lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time. So luck, suerte. Lucky, suertudo o suertuda. All right, it's the adjective and the other one is the noun. So we can do this activity together. Actually, we are going to work on the 3 activities together. So we have 3 things here, 3 words. Look at the bold words in the sentence below. Which is a noun, which is an adjective, and using the word luck, can you make an adverb maybe? Hmm?
Unlucky.
Wait, but I don't understand. Which is the negative adjective?
Unlucky.
Unlucky. All right, yeah, maybe we're looking for the antonym. Unlucky. Positive adverb?
Luckily.
Luckily, right? Luckily, very good. And negative adverb?
Unluckily.
Unluckily. Okay, so we're gonna work this not as suerte, but as afortunado. Unlucky, desafortunado. Luckily, unluckily, afortunadamente, desafortunadamente. All right, we can understand it this way. And I guess that would make it. Yeah, that was not very clear for me at first. Yeah, that's it. Very good. All right, guys. Next. Okay. Look at the adjectives and adverbs that can be made from noun luck in the chart below. Then in pairs complete the chart. You're not going to work in pairs. You're going to do it on your own. All right. But just like luck, you transform it into lucky, unlucky, luckily, unluckily, fortune, fortunate, unfortunate, fortunately, unfortunately, definitely. You have the words comfort, patience, and care. Please work on this activity on your own, and then we check and we do the feedback. All right, this should be very simple. You shouldn't take more than 4 minutes, maybe 5. Two minutes. All right, guys. Let me know what you got. So you have fortune, which transforms into fortunate or unfortunate. What would be the adverb? Yes, can you speak louder, please?
Fortunately.
Fortunately. And the other one?
Fortunately.
Unfortunately. Please make sure you have the right pronunciation. Fortunately, unfortunately.
Fortunately.
No, not fortunately. Fortunately, unfortunately.
Fortunately. Unfortunately.
Ok, el acento está en for, no en nay. Fortunately, unfortunately. Repeat.
Fortunately. Unfortunately.
Yes, that's better. All right, next. Comfort. What's the adjective for comfort?
Comfortable.
Okay, but the stress, el acento está en com. Comfortable. And the negative?
Uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable. Adverbs?
Comfortably.
Comfortably. And the adverb?
Uncomfortable.
Uncomfortably. All right. Next, patience. What's the adjective for patience?
Patient.
Patient. Very good.
Patient.
And negative?
Compassion.
On?
Impatient.
I would say it's impatient. All right. And the adverb?
Patiently.
Patiently, right? Pacientemente, patiently. And the negative?
I am patient.
Impatiently.
And
All right. Thank you. Now the word care. What's the adjective?
careful,
Careful. And the negative?
careless,
Careless. All right. Careless. Next. Positive.
carefully,
Carefully. And the negative?
care carelessly.
Carelessly. Yes. All right. Let's check the answers. I hope there's no misspelling. Oh, that's it. Let's listen to the pronunciation. That's also important.
5.7. Word building. Making adjectives and adverbs. Luck. Lucky. Unlucky. Luckily. Unluckily.
Fortune. Fortunate. Unfortunate. Fortunately. Unfortunately.
Comfort. Comfortable. Uncomfortable. Comfortably. Uncomfortably.
Patience. Patient. Impatient. Patiently. Impatiently.
Care. Careful. Careless. Carefully. Carelessly.
All right. So that's the second vocabulary activity. The last one, before we start with Alticia, is this. So what do you have to do? This might take a little bit longer, but you have to use the correct form of the noun. So now you have the same words. You already know how to spell fortune, fortunate, unfortunate, fortunately, unfortunately. But now you have to identify, according to the context, what is the right form for these words, and if it's positive or negative, depending on the context. So let's begin with number one. I would like to listen from Daniel Delgado.
Yes, mister. And the beach was beautiful, but unfortunately, it rained almost every day.
Unfortunately, right? Because if it rains when the beach is beautiful, it spoils the whole day. Thank you, Daniel, unfortunately. Next, comfort, Marcos Merchan.
My new shoes are very comfortable.
Comfortable, yes.
Comfortable.
There
I
you
rode
go.
them for the first time yesterday, and they didn't hurt at all.
They didn't hurt at all. Very good, Marcos. Thank you. Number three, Maria Eugenia.
Number three, he did the exam quickly. Me ayuda con la pronunciación, por favor. Es careless, o sea, el careless,
Careless.
careless, and so he made lots of mistakes.
Okay, so there are two options, Maria Eugenia. Is it careless or
Careless,
carelessly?
careless,
Like this?
carelessly.
Carelessly. Okay, carelessly is different. Carelessly is the adverb, which means that we are describing the action. Quickly and carelessly. Finish reading. And so
And so he made a lot of mistakes.
mistakes. Thank you, Maria Eugenia. Continue reading, please. Adrian, number four. Adrian, if you're speaking, do it with your microphone, please.
Okay, okay, yes. I forgot to unmute. Okay,
Don't worry.
4. We were really unlucky. We missed the flight by just 5 minutes.
Okay, so we were really, did you say lucky?
Unlucky.
Unlucky, yes. Unlucky. Thank you, Adrian. That is correct. Number 5. Let me see who else is here. Cecilia, number 5. Jack.
Jack is a very impatient driver. He can't stand being behind someone who is driving slowly.
Behind.
Behind.
Okay, very good. Impatient. Thank you, Cecilia. Maria de Los Angeles, number 6.
It was raining, but fans waited patiently in the queue to buy tickets for tomorrow's concert.
In the queue.
In the queue.
Okay, so fans were waited patiently. Thank
Mhm.
you very much. I asked you for number 6, but don't worry. Thank you very much. Let's continue. Ivan Almeida, number 6.
It was a bad accident, but luckily nobody was seriously hurt.
Very good. But luckily, nobody was seriously hurt.
Luckily.
Thank you. Number 8, Jordan.
The roads will be very
Icy.
icy tonight, so drive carefully.
Carefully, yes. Icy means que van a estar con hielo. Remember, there are countries where it's snowy weather, so they have ice on the pavement. All right, number 9, Johnny.
Okay. The temperature dropped to minus 10
Minus?
degrees. Huh?
Minus 10
To minus 10 degrees.
degree.
But fortunately we were all wearing warm coats and jackets.
Fortunately, we were all wearing, yes. Thank you very much. And finally, I'm gonna ask Miss Nicole.
Comfortably.
Yes, but please read the whole sentence.
The bed in the hotel was
Incredibly
incredibly, comfortably, comfortable. I hardly sleep at
slept.
all.
I hardly slept at all.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, 9 over 10. What happened? Oh, yeah. We had to check the context. So if the bed in the hotel wouldn't let me sleep, I hardly slept, it's because it wasn't comfortable. The opposite. It was very uncomfortable, incredibly uncomfortable. Sorry, my bad. I didn't get the context of this. Let's listen to the pronunciation of the words in the following audio track.
5.8. 1.
The beach was beautiful, but unfortunately it rained almost every day.
2.
My new shoes are very comfortable. I wore them for the first time yesterday and they didn't hurt at all.
3.
He did the exam quickly and carelessly, and so he made lots of mistakes.
4.
We were really unlucky. We missed the flight by just 5 minutes.
5.
Jack is a very impatient driver. He can't stand being behind someone who is driving slowly.
6.
It was a bad accident, but luckily nobody was seriously hurt.
7.
It was raining, but fans waited patiently in the queue to buy tickets for tomorrow's concert.
8. The roads will be very icy tonight, so drive carefully. 9.
The temperature dropped to -10 degrees, but fortunately we were all wearing warm coats and jackets.
10.
The bed in the hotel was incredibly uncomfortable. I hardly slept at all.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you finish the activities in the vocabulary section of this unit. What unit is this? Unit 9A, I guess. Yes, 9A, Lucky Encounters. After this, we have 9B. Yeah, we're on good track. Johnny, do you want to say something?
Oh, no,
All right, don't worry. That happens. All right. So, people, we're now going to take the final attendance. Ronnie, you're absent because your camera is off. Ivan Almeida?
Present.
Thank you. Luis, Wilson, Jorge?
Present.
Thank you. Cristina?
Present.
Thank you. Daniel?
Present.
Thank you. Nicole? She's there. Cecilia?
Nicole, present.
Yes, thank you.
Present, teacher.
María Eugenia, Valeria?
Present.
There you are.
Present.
Thank you. María de Los Ángeles?
Present.
Thank you. Marcos?
Present.
Thank you. Michelle?
Present.
Thank you. Andrea Sánchez?
Present.
Thank you. Yulisa? Ah, Yulisa se fue. All right. Jordan?
Present.
Thank you. Johnny?
present.
There you are. Ronnie? Absent. Adrián?
Present. Present. Present.
Okay. And Maria? Absent. Okay. Very nice. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this moment, as I asked you, we are going to take advantage of the time. We just finished Unit 9A to work on Alticia. So I'm sharing the screen again to check that everybody is in Alticia. Remember, right now, the target by the end of the day is 50%. By the end of the day, that includes today, 50%.
Teacher,
Yes, Daniel.
the other stop, how many weeks?
2 more weeks.
Okay.
So it would be by the end of January, Daniel.
31.
Déjame ver. Son 2 semanas. 28. January
Okay.
28. All right. Here. From 16 to today. All right. So I want to see everybody in Alticia. I just have like 2 students who already finished. I only have 2 students who already finished. I will have to check that again. Ivan Almeida, 65, very good. You can still take advantage of the time, Ivan, and keep working because in January 28, it's going to be 75. All right, Luis Alberto is not here. Wilson is not here. Jorge. So Jorge, we need to push up this to 50. So start working right now, please. Jorge. Cristina. Cristina, you're missing 10%. Good. Daniel Delgado. Daniel, very good. You are on track. Cecilia, 58. You passed already. Very good. Maria Eugenia, 91. Very nice, Maria Eugenia. Thank you for the effort. Valeria, 51. Very good. Maria de Los Angeles, 26. Okay, Maria de Los Angeles. There's a lot of work to do today. Marcos Merchan, let me see. 33. All right. Working, please, Marcos. Michelle, 81. Very nice, Michelle. Good job. Andrea Sanchez over here. Yeah, Andrea is the one who already finished. Andrea, thank you very much. Julissa Silva. Oh, by the way, but we need this. We need this to be B1. Oh, yeah, never mind. Julissa. Julissa is not here anymore. Jordan. Jordan, 37. Okay, Jordan, working, please. Johnny, I think Johnny already finished too. Yes. Johnny and Andrea Sanchez, you finished Alticia already. Ronnie, 86, very good. Good progress. Adrian, 58. Okay, you passed the threshold for this week. And Maria is not here. All right, guys, please, I need to see you working in Alticia. Let me see. Andrea Sanchez finished. Luis is not here.
Una pregunta, los que no salen ahí, ¿por qué es?
Oh, that's a problem, Nicole. I think you should text Mr. Alfonso. Mr. Alfonso is the other admin in the group, in the WhatsApp group. So let him know, because maybe you enter later to the course or something. You should be in this list.
Porque se supone que ahí me sale 65% y me puse al día con las actividades en
Sí,
Alticia.
pero el hecho de que no me salga en mi curso puede ser porque por error está asignada en otro curso o qué sé yo. Ese problema también lo tuvo otro compañero, le escribió a Mr. Alfonso y lo resolvieron. Por eso le sugiero aquello, porque yo solo puedo ver su progreso, pero quien configura es Mr. Alfonso.
¿Me
Escríbelo, por
puede
favor.
pasar la captura de la lista de estudiantes para preguntarle a Mr. Alfonso?
¿Cómo la captura?
O sea, la lista, para pasarle porque yo no estoy en esa lista.
Ah, pero esta es la lista.
Sí, pero no
Está
estoy
en
ahí.
orden alfabético. Usted simplemente mire que no está su nombre. Usted es de Los Ríos. Usted debería estar aquí y no está.
Sí,
Ya, eso, tómele una captura de pantalla y
sí, ya le
envíela.
tomé foto.
Daniel, I'm gonna check the activity that you were asking me before. What chapter is it?
Yes, mister. Unit A. Unit A.
8A or 8B?
A.
8A, all right.
Yes.
Which one?
The activity grammar 1. Grammar 1A.
1A, all right.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, what is this? Marcos Merchan, why did you flag this activity? Marcos?
Yes, master. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe a mistake.
You made a mistake. Do you need me to erase the activity?
Yes,
Or
mister, please.
you can do it again.
Yes,
All right.
thank you.
Okay, boys.
Thank you,
That's it.
mister.
You're welcome. Anyone else? If you have any convenience with the activity, let me know right now. Nicole de los Rios, now I see you in the list. But I don't see that you have any activity done. You told me you had. That's a problem. Let me know what Mr. Alfonso tells you, please.
Disculpe, tenía el audio apagado. Lo que pasa es que ahorita estoy hablando con Mr. Alfonso y me está como que viendo unas cosas porque como que se está configurando la página, no sé.
Ok,
Entonces como que
entonces
recién...
en un momento seguro lo actualizo y ya aparece su progreso.
Ajá.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. In Unit 8B, Ivan Almeida, Nicole, and Andrea Sanchez, I'm erasing your attempts, so you can do it again. The score was way too low. Right? Unit 8B, Grammar Bank 1B. That's the one I'm fixing. All right, guys, thank you very much for your participation and your interaction. I hope you feel that you are practicing more. The fact that I'm reinforcing your pronunciation and your speaking activities, that's very important. All right, especially for the final evaluation. Remember, the final exam is 80% speaking. So that's why I'm insisting on speaking. It's very important that you have the skill to have a conversation. That's it for my part. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great week. See you next Saturday. If you haven't finished Alticia, please make sure you do so. Remember, the threshold is 50% this Sunday. All right? See you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, mister.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
Bye,
mister.
teacher. Thank you.